Welcome to an all-new episode of Devall's Collection Expansion Extravaganza right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again, my lovely wife, Carrie Devall.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm not lovely? What is that?
Hi. Some of the stuff you don't know about.
Oh, is that real? Is that right? I know about all this.
Oh, okay, never mind. She knows all about this. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is all about what we find in our travels, going to antique malls, flea markets, garage sales, so much more. We've got some good stuff again for you today. We got a little bit of Disney, still a little bit more Disney stuff. Of course, that's why Carrie's been joining us this last few episodes.
Mickey Mouse.
That's right. So a lot of Disney stuff that we've been finding. Some action figures, some cool board games here. Let's start out, actually, let me show off the action figures. I wanted to talk about it before you held it
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. Wife, I'm like Vanna. I'm like the Price is Right girls.
She's ruining our mojo, people.
Sorry. Here, I'm sorry. Take two.
Pick it up.
Okay.
This actually is kind of cool. This is actually a mint-on colored Monon Gecko, and this actually didn't come from anything that I attended. This actually came from our good friend Pixel Dan, who bought on an online auction, bought a bunch of stuff, and this was one of the items that he had that was extra. He had two mint-on colored Monon Geckos and a couple other things, and he offered me the extra mint-on colored Monon Gecko. So of course I bought it. Turtles aren't something I collect, but the fact that it's an unpunched
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
yep.
Oh, I was going to say that. I was going to look real smart and say, look,
Yeah.
the thing's not punched.
Yeah.
I do know about that.
I know. It's got a little bit of crushed bubble on the side there, on the right side, just on the top. But everything's still sealed in there. It's still nice and neat.
The rip-roaring skateboarding reptile.
That was a figure I had when Turtles was at the height of its popularity. I actually had Monon Gecko.
So is this from like the original Turtles
That
line?
is the original Turtles line. Yes, that is the vintage line.
Cool.
So yeah, when Pixel Dan said, "Hey, do you want this Monon Gecko?" I said, "Well, yeah, sure, I'll take him. I don't collect turtles, but
Well, you have a few turtles.
I have a few
items,
turtles, yeah.
but-
And mint on card items I'm always looking for because I love mint on card stuff. So
I'm assuming then this is going to stay.
he'll stay on, yeah. Especially since he's on an unpunched card, he'll stay on the card.
Well, I will try not to accidentally push through
Yes,
that.
please don't. Dear Lord, no. Next up, you guys know that we're, of course, we've always talked about, surprise, surprise, again, Disney orientated, that we're huge Disney fans, and with Disney comes Jim Henson's Muppets, and we're huge. I started out
Yeah,
as huge Muppet.
I wasn't a big Muppet fan. I liked the Muppets,
Yes.
but then we started dating, and
Yes.
now I love them.
Now she loves the Muppets.
I do love the Muppets now.
There are some Palisades figures from the Muppets line, the great Palisades. God rest that company. Some great figures that they made that I still don't have from the Palisades line.
Now, didn't you do an episode
There
of all
were
that
two.
stuff?
Well, there were two episodes we did back in the day of That New Toy Smell on Pop Culture Network that you can actually still find if you go to blip.tv and look up That New Toy Smell. You can actually find all those old That New Toy Smell episodes.
The collection you have.
Because unfortunately, they're no longer available on Pop Culture Network, and some of them are available still on Pixel Dan's site. But you can go back and see some of the old That New Toy Smell episodes, and we did a couple episodes of Palisades Muppets, the place that's the figures, the accessories, all that stuff.
A lot.
We do have a lot. And one of the ones that I was missing was actually this little guy. It was actually Patrol Bear Fozzie.
Look at him.
Mm-hmm. And this was from Series 6, and that series was Waldorf, Statler, Clifford, and Patrol Bear Fozzie. And this was one of the few figures I didn't have from that series. I have all the other figures from that series except for Patrol Bear Fozzie, and he is really cute, dressed as he was, I believe, from an episode of the Muppet Show for I want to say, I don't remember what the skit was, but comes with a ton of stuff though. I mean, just the fact that this was along the lines of the handcuffs, battalion flashlight, walkie-talkie, gun holsters, magnetic hat, so his hat will stay on his head, which was kind of.
Now, will you take this out of the box?
That I'll probably open. I'll probably open Patrol Bear Fozzie because he's not really that hard to find, but he usually goes for $20, $25. We found it at a garage sale for $5.
Yeah. yard sale.
Yep, no yard sale. Just random yard sale. Guy had it on the table, and I was like, I don't have Patrol Bear Fozzie, so we're buying Patrol Bear Fozzie for $5. Yes, he will come out of there, and he will go with the rest of the Muppet figures on the shelf up there. I just have to make room for it. But it's such a neat figure that it's kind of... I was never one to really buy the figures that weren't just the normal clothed, like, Muppet Show figures. But this was just kind of a very cool variant. Very cool variant. There's a lot of E's in that. A neat variant that I couldn't pass up for that money. So, Patrol Bear Fozzie. Very cool. Sticking with the Disney stuff, those of you that
and the Muppets.
And the Muppets. Those of you that were born in the 70s and 80s, probably late 60s actually, and 70s and 80s, remember color forms, and they're still available today. They're not as cool as they were back in the day. And something we found actually was this very neat Miss Piggy color forms dress-up set, which, as you can see, a lot of pink going on there because it's Piggy. I think it's missing a piece. It's missing
one piece.
It's missing a hat. But the fact that she still had her little dress-up catalog that showed you all the different outfits she could be dressed up in.
She's not even punched out of this.
Yep, she's never been punched off the card. She still has all...
Yes, she's missing this one piece right here.
Yep, she's missing
and this.
a hat and a heart, I think. A hat and a little heart. And that was it. And we paid...
I think it was... It says $5. I don't know if it ended up being $5. It might have been cheaper than that.
Yeah, I don't think we paid $5 for it. I think we actually paid like $2 or $3 for it. But again, color forms aren't something a lot of people really go out of their way to collect, and they're very, very difficult and very hard to find in any semblance of complete form. Only because the color form pieces got lost, they got thrown away, swept up in a vacuum. 1980 was when this came out, and I've got another color form set that's actually a Michael Jackson set that we got out of an auction that's complete. Color forms aren't something that I'm looking to collect.
I hope not.
No. I've seen some licensed one that I've wanted, but they're always incomplete. And this Miss Piggy, she was missing those two pieces, and I figured,
just cute. Look at
yeah, and I figured why not? She's only missing two pieces. The majority of them are there. We'll pick her up. So. Very cool find. That was another one of, I think, Miss Devall's here.
I think I did see that at an antique store. Yeah.
One of her finds. So let's get on to some Disney stuff.
Do this stuff.
You want to do Minnie?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a little.
This Minnie doll we found in a yard sale, and I don't remember what decade she's from. It had to have been around the time Disney World opened, so I'm going to say early 70s. She's in good shape. She still has her polka dot dress.
Yeah.
Her nose is gone.
Part of her little
part of her little
dress back here is ripped a little bit, but
and her little she had a little black nose. We actually have a Mickey that goes along with her, that is kind of the companion piece to this era of stuffed Disney animal. These are not what you would think of when you think of Disney licensed items. Of course, the farther you go back from the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, all the way back to the 30s, and you start looking at a lot of the licensed stuff. Of course, Mickey has changed through the decades, but the stuffed animals and the licensed characters really changed very little, almost up until the 80s. They were still kind of creepy and vague looking. I mean, this Minnie was produced by Disney Productions. It's got a Walt Disney Productions tag on it. It was produced in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, so it was around the time Disney World was opened or shortly after that. And the fact that it looks nothing like Minnie Mouse is kind of creepy.
Because her
fur's a blue. It's not even a black.
Blue,
it's a very blue, very dark blue.
I didn't know if you call this fur or what. But
the felt or whatever she's made out of is a very dark blue, and she's not really dressed in the appropriate outfit that you would normally see Minnie. She's got polka dots on, but it's just a very kind of creepy doll overall. I think she's kind of creepy. But again,
it could be that because her nose is missing a little bit. But...
That could be. And of course, like I said, we've got the companion piece, the Mickey Mouse, to this one. So she will have her little boyfriend Mickey to go with. But Carrie, of course, had to have her, and I think she was $2,
maybe
something like that. Just a cute little find that's really creeping me out. Let's move on. This actually is a pretty neat item. These were, I don't remember who made these. I'm not even sure what the year is on these. These are Disney collectibles. They're handcrafted, hand-painted. This is actually a magic puppet of Donald. It's basically a marionette of Donald Duck. And I actually found this at the Salisbury toy sale that we went to here near us in Springfield. Yeah, it's just a little marionette, a little jointed marionette doll. That, you know, it's, if anyone's ever played with marionettes, you know they work by strings and.
Created and manufactured by a small world.
Yeah, so I'm guessing these were Disney store exclusives, or these were sold in the parks. But they're all hand carved, hand painted. Very good likenesses of the Disney characters. I'm not sure how many of these they made. Donald was the only one he had, and of course I bought it for Carrie because I'm like, she doesn't have something like this, and it's a very cute little collectible.
I don't think I've seen him out of the box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and of course on the back here he's got his little. He's actually got the little marionette handle that you would control him with. It's a very well done jointed marionette puppet.
He's in really good shape.
Yeah, very good shape.
Paint is still looks good. Well,
yeah,
he'll probably stay in the box.
Yeah, and I'm guessing this was probably done around the late 90s, probably the mid 90s, late 90s. Just a very odd, interesting collectible that, you know, like I said, I picked up for Carrie because I'd never seen one, and I knew that she didn't actually have anything
anything like that.
No, not like this. So something that Carrie was very happy to have, and she gets to add to the Disney collection that is growing. That is now majorly hers. Most of it belongs to Carrie, and not a lot of it is mine anymore. Surprisingly, the Disney collection has grown since we've been together. I had a few Disney items that I cherished, and when things really started to go out of control with her getting into it, then it started to explode.
I'm out of control?
Something we found at another garage sale that actually was a very interesting find that I thought was going to be way more money than what it was because of how old it is, but is this very cool light-up Mickey Mouse Club light-up drawing table. Very cute, very easily done. Just basically a yellow drawing table. We'll take it out here in a minute and show you. But this was actually from the, I think we figured out this was from the 70s. I don't know if we ever found a date on the bag. I figured this was going to be like, they were going to ask $30 for this because they had some other antiques at this yard sale. And when I asked them how much, and the lady said 50 cents, I thought, okay, well, I will buy it for 50 cents, and I'm not even going to look inside of it before I buy it because screw it, it's 50 cents. Then upon getting it home, and after opening it, we actually discovered that it came with, the only thing that's missing is the original pencils and the drawing paper that it came with, but the fact that there's a colored pencil in here. I don't know if it's the same one that originally came with it, but and of course the table it works. I plugged it in. The plug is actually hidden back here. The light bulb still works. It's kind of done in the vein of an old animator's table. And then they actually have these really cool. They're all here, and only one has a problem. Somebody cut out one of the minis on one of them. But these are. I don't know if you can really tell, but they're when you light them up on the light-up desk and you put a piece of paper over it, like a piece of drawing paper, you actually can see these images and you can trace them. And that's how the light-up drawing test worked, was basically you just trace these images. And there's a bunch of them in here. There's, let's see, there's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You had Sword in the Stone. You've got this one, which is the one where Minnie was cut out of, but it's Mickey and Minnie. And she was, somebody just decided to cut her out. But you can see it's very interesting, too, because you can actually
looks
do
like
the
there's
different
pieces.
Well, you can do the different bodies and the different. You can just draw the heads on the different bodies. So there's that one. There's Donald Duck and family.
Ooh.
There's
somebody colored on.
well, yeah.
Goofy.
There's a Goofy and Pluto page.
My favorite.
There is a.
There's a bunch.
An Aristocats. There was an Aristocats.
Oh my goodness, there's a bunch.
Yep. There was a Dumbo. Let's see, a Robin Hood. A Jungle Book. A second Robin Hood, pretty cool. A Mary Poppins which is kind of creepy looking, because those kids are scary. And a Bambi page. So all in all, yep, there are 12 sheets in all. And like I said, I double checked to make sure that all 12 were here, and they were. Just that one Minnie was cut up. I don't think I kind of looked in here to see if that Minnie was hiding in there, and she wasn't. Somebody cut her up and used her for something, who knows what.
So you just put a light bulb in here? Is that what you
There's a light bulb in there. Yep, there's a light bulb in there.
Straw on it?
Yep.
I guess we haven't really talked about how it works.
Yep. You just plug it in, and you put the you would put the.
Where do you put that? Just right on top of it?
The piece of paper right here. It would sit there.
Yeah.
And then you would put another piece of paper on top of it, and it would illuminate through this peeper, and then it would illuminate.
It would illuminate through this paper.
What she said. And then it would illuminate through the drawing paper you had on top, so you were able to trace. Yep. So you could position that piece of paper on top however you wanted, and you could just trace the images wherever you wanted them on the page. So,
very 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents. And it's basically the same way that animators' desks had worked up until they went digital. Which, unfortunately, again, Disney has now closed down their hand-drawn animation departments again for the second time in over a decade. Which is sad, but they make more money now on 3D pictures as shown by Rapunzel or by Tangled and everything else. Here, the box right here. So there's quite a bit of money to be made in 3D films. Of course, these days, 3D graphics, and with their, with them owning Pixar now, they really don't have to put out a whole lot of films because Pixar is basically putting out a film a year now. So. Moving on to other Disney stuff. These will surprise no one, but maybe scare some people. Carrie actually discovered these in a bin full of other books. Deluxe paper dolls for Little Mermaid.
That's not been used.
Remember that creepy the collection that Pixel Dan calls slightly creepy? Yeah. Got creepier, people.
It's cute because they haven't even been.
Yeah, they haven't. Nothing's been punched out.
Punched out.
And of course,
the dolls are in the back.
Yep. And there were two of them. I bought two of them because guess what? One of them get punched out.
Yeah, I said let's buy them both so you can play with one and keep the other one.
That's right. Yeah, pretty cute. A lot of very cute. Yep. A lot of cute Ariel outfits. Some outfits that you can actually color. Although on the back, the Ariel is cute, but the Prince Eric and his little black tights is kind of creeping me out a little bit. Yeah, 92 is when these were brought out. So these were brought out probably around the time DVD. Well, not DVD, but the VHS was still out. Probably around about the time it was getting ready to go into the vault, probably. And Golden, of course, was doing a lot of these different deluxe paper doll books, such as this. But again, bought two of them. One of them's getting punched out, and the other one's just going to stay mint. So, yeah. I didn't show Pixel Dan those yet. I think I showed him a picture of him, and I might have creeped him out a little bit. And he was just like, it's getting too much, Devall. So, I'm like, wife don't care, so who cares? Woohoo! Yeah. This is a cool piece. We've talked about owning frame tray puzzles in the past and how we had bought a bunch of them with the intention of buying frames and framing them because they really make good artwork. And of course, we
haven't bought any frames.
We don't buy any. We haven't bought frames at all.
And even if we did, I don't know where we would even hang any of that.
In your office.
Now. In my office, probably.
Yeah, that's where the Disney room is.
We kind of slowed down a little bit on the framed puzzles.
A little bit.
We've seen a bunch of cute ones, but I'm like, we don't have anywhere to put that right now.
Yep.
But
this actually
one was really cute.
This actually came from Disney World. They don't sell these in the parks anymore, but this was a frame tray puzzle for the Country Bear Jamboree, which there's quite a
quarter.
Yep, it was a quarter. And again, it's just a very cool, Walt Disney World Florida tag on it, and it was probably only if it wasn't sold in the parks, it was sold in stores, and they probably didn't sell a whole lot of them because the Country Bear Jamboree stuff really doesn't sell that well, or didn't sell that well outside of the parks. So. But yeah, this was a frame tray puzzle. I was like, I know we're not buying these, but I've never seen this one, and I kind of want it because it's Country Bears Jamboree. So that actually goes along with something we had back here while we're talking about Country Bear Jamboree.
That's right.
This was something we found a long time ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was like last year.
Yep. And it's just kind of been sent back here because I don't do glasses a whole lot on this show, or on Flea Market Finds I didn't do, but I know this very cool beer mug for Big Al, who was one of the main characters in Country Bear Jamboree, probably one of the most beloved characters because he comes out to sing Blood on the Water very horribly. And I couldn't tell you how the song goes, but it's probably one of the most beloved characters created for an attraction such as Country Bear Jamboree is Big Al. And this big beer mug was really, really cool to find. And again, this was something that you could only buy in the parks. They don't make these anymore. There's not a whole lot of Country Bear Jamboree merchandise in the parks anymore.
Did we get that in a yard sale or antique store?
We bought this at a flea market.
Flea
We bought this at a flea market for like $2. And I was like, well, I'm going to buy it because it's Big Al, and I don't ever see merchandise for Big Al. So, very cool. You don't see a lot of Country Bear Jamboree stuff anymore. You did back in the day when it first premiered, when it first debuted. But now that it really only exists at Disney World, Magic Kingdom in Florida, and who knows for how much longer it'll stay there. So that's really the only place you can find anything for. But these were some neat items for just, Disney park history. Very cool. Got one more item. We got a board game to end this episode with, so let's check this out. So, quick story on this is that Carrie and I had not been to an auction this year at all, a good auction. The auctions that we'd looked at really weren't that great, and we hadn't found one that was worth spending a whole day to. Nothing that had good toys, good Disney stuff, nothing. It's just all usually garbage. But we found one really close to us, about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the town was. Do you remember?
I don't remember, but
The listing said it had over 70 board games from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And it had a bunch of classic toys because apparently the lady whose estate they were selling for, she was moving, getting rid of everything she had here near here in town. And she actually was one of those mothers who kept all of her children's toys and kept all the boxes and all the pieces for everything and made sure everything was always there when the kids were done playing with it. So it's kind of a rarity to find that. There was some stiff competition there. There was one guy that had he not have been there, I probably would have got a ton of board games for super cheap.
Yeah.
Managed to get away with a few that were really nice and really cool. One of them that was really an amazing game was this one from Ideal from the 60s. Was this game called The Game of Snakes Alive, featuring the mystery basket and the popping snake. Ideal was really known in the 60s and 50s as the family game destination. They made pretty much all the games they made were family-oriented games. The whole family could get together and play these games, whether they were Snakes Alive or I believe Subsearch is one of them that they did. They did just a ton, and this actually comes from '66. And I wanted it because it was so interesting to see that the fact that not only had she kept all the pieces for like games for like this, she had actually kept all of the inserts for the Ideal game like this, and it's very, very hard to find this game with the inserts like this.
What do you mean inserts? Show me, explain.
This is an insert.
Oh, okay, I got you.
All the pieces were connected to.
Okay, I see.
And everything was here. All the pieces and everything were here, and it's in amazing shape.
What the heck is this?
I will show you.
Oh my.
So,
Take it, this is the snake.
yes, the basic idea of this game is you load the snake up into the little snake charmer's basket, so he gets loaded up into there.
He's gonna pop out of there, isn't he?
And then this game has to be played with 4 players. You can't really play with 2. It's got to be 4 players. And these little schwammies, I guess you could call them. You got to remember this is the '60s, so nowadays this game is actually kind of racist because they are not called schwammies anymore. Kind of funny though that again this is something you'll never see anymore. But all the schwammies went on the board like this, and you would sit on the table, and everyone would place their hand on the swami, and then everyone basically you spin the basket, and then everyone would take a turn, and you'd have to put your finger in one of these holes. And there's several holes, and then what happens is once you find the correct hole, or the player that finds the correct hole, the snake pops out of there, like so.
And you lose.
Well, there's a point system to it.
Oh my, it comes out
really
of there good.
Pops out of there,
wow.
Yeah. There's a point system to it that I don't understand because I haven't really read the directions, but this, I know, right? This is one of those games that are rather really collectible. There are a lot of people that specifically collect and deal in Ideal games and classic games from the 50s and 60s. And to find a game in this good a shape that has all its pieces, that has all the gems and everything that came with, and all the little treasure pieces, is actually kind of difficult and rather hard to find. This was the most expensive thing I bought that day, and I paid $10 for this game. Only because I was like, you're not getting this game, dude, I'm buying it. So quit. Every time he'd bid, I'd stare at him and bid more. And eventually he realized I was staring a hole in him, and he was like, oh, I'm done. And he was like, no, I'm backing out. So, see, that's what happens. Persistence and a scary face gets you something every time. But yeah, this was the most money I spent on a game, and again, the fact that it's from the 60s.
Not something we normally would buy. Normally we're more the 80s games.
We are, but
it's just neat. I mean, you look at the box and it looks fun.
Yeah, it does look fun. It looks just
like we need to find 2 more people to play this with.
Looks like a crazy, crazy fun game. So, the mystery basket and the popping snake.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. 60s, crazy time for board games, people. Very crazy time. There you go, gang. That brings us to the end of another episode of Collection Expansion Extravaganza. Those of you wondering, for the last couple episodes, why is Devall at an angle and leaning? Well, we're crowded back here.
There's a lot of stuff behind us.
Lots of episodes, people. Nah.
And what they can't see is what I can see right here out of the corner of my eye. Is literally a stack taller than me of more stuff. So
lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. It's been building up. It's been building up. Can't help it. We keep going out. It keeps building up.
We need to stop going out.
We're not going to stop going out. It's not going to happen. Someone, I agreed to it. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then somebody over here gets bored on weekends and goes, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you.
It's fun. It's something to do.
We
love have fun going out together.
Yeah.
So.
And that's really the only things we do. We don't go to movies. We don't go out to dinner.
Sometimes,
but not a lot. Not like a lot of couples do. I know a lot of couples go on date nights and all that stuff, and we don't like each other enough to go on date nights.
That's not true. We like each other enough to sit in the car for 3 hours to drive to an auction or a flea market.
That's true. That's true.
So.
But that's what we do for fun, is we go out to flea markets and auctions and all that stuff, and both of us are always looking at stuff going, let's go here, let's go here, let's go here. And of course, we're nearing August, and August is the 127, which is something we've gone to now for the past 2 years. And it's something we look forward to every year. You can go to 127sale.com to see all the details. And Carrie knows more about the starting destination, ending destinations of that than I do, because I get it wrong every time. But
I think it's a 650-mile long yard sale from Alabama to Michigan.
It's crazy.
Of course, we don't do all 650 miles, but
and it's 2 weekends every year in August.
No, it's one.
It's one weekend.
Is it? It starts on the first Thursday in August.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yes.
Yep. So we've never ventured farther than Ohio. This year we may go somewhere else, but that's something where we go, and every year we've gone.
Come home with a trunk load of stuff.
Yes.
We always find goods, and we don't spend a lot of money on it. That's the thing.
We never do.
People come over and they look at all of this stuff, and they're like, "Wow, you really spend a lot of money." And I'm like, "We don't."
Yeah.
As you can see, we've said quarter, $2. I mean,
$10. Yeah.
We come home with bags of stuff, and we maybe are lucky if we spend $20.
Yeah. So the most money we spend is when we go to antique malls usually, and we find good stuff, and we're like, "Well, it's a good price. Let's just buy it." So, and I think that's what we did with a lot of our money last time. We just kept stopping at antique stores on the way to Ohio the day before, and spent a good chunk of change just there. And we were like, we got to stop. We're not going to have any money for the yard sales tomorrow. So there you go, guys. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/ToyWorldOrder. Hit subscribe. Helps us out a heck of a lot. Great things. Lots of other great sites there that you can find on our YouTube page. You can look at our friends up in the upper right-hand side of our page on youtube.com and see all the other great pages that we enjoy and love to watch. Check us out online at ToyWorldOrder.com, where you can find all the great stuff such as Dave and Devall's Toys and Collectibles every week, Married to the Collection with myself and Carrie every other week, as well as a ton of great upcoming original programming and always new videos, reviews on there. Lots of great stuff between Transformers and G.I. Joe and everything else that Dave and I do and love, as well as new stuff from ADOS Baron when he contributes and gets something new that he just has to show off. So check that out. Join the forums he has, and it's absolutely free. Go to ToyWorldOrder.com/forums and sign up today. You can join in on the conversation with a lot of great people and a lot of great viewers, just like yourself. So make sure you do that. And gang, until next time, keep digging, because you never know what you're going to find. Take care, guys.